crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2 and happy Veterans Day. Um, just so crazy. Sorry, I realized just as the live was starting that I have yet to grab thread for piecing today because I really don't know what I want to piece with. It's kind of crazy because, we're doing the veterans, so I don't really want to piece with white, but I thought maybe I'll piece with black, and then I might piece with gray. So we'll see. But hey, happy Veterans Day. Thanks for being here. I am so fortunate to work for an organization that actually allowed me some time off. Um, I'll be honest, after the vacation and then traveling for work last week, I really just needed a day. And it's just kind of crazy because the holidays are just happening too fast, guys. It's like, wow, so much going on and so much happening. Now, let's see who's in the chat already. Russ is in the house. Thanks for being here, Russ. Good morning, John and guest and chat. I'm around meetings this morning since I'm still stuck working. Yes, we hate that he's working today. He needed to be on with us today. BBMK's here. Hey, from Phoenix. Thanks for being here this morning. Russ goes, whoops, I'm in the wrong account too. It is a Monday. It has been a Monday, I will tell you. What else? I'm still exhausted from the weekend. I got basically 2 quilts loaded and quilted on the long arm. My calves are killing me. I tell you what, it's a lot more physical doing that than you think it is. I am a little out of cahoots. I ended up playing Mario Wii last night, and bowling wasn't so bad. Tennis, then that had me twisting and turning a little bit more than I'm used to. Russ says I need to get the t-shirt quilted probably Wednesday, and I might have time to get binding on these before the show and tell on Saturday. I understand. Let me tell you, I've got 3 that I have to get done, so I laid one out today. So I'm hoping after today's live that I will be able to grab that and be able to do that that on the long arm today, get it, bind it, and then I still have 2 more that I have to get done for Christmas gifts. But yeah, Lord have mercy, I've got over a month, right? I mean, what? I've got like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, so I got plenty of time. Alexandria, good morning. Thanks for being here with us. Hey, Brian, good morning. Missed you yesterday on the live, unless you were there and just didn't chat, but I don't remember seeing you yesterday, so thanks for being here today. BBMK says, do you know you're quilting the t-shirt quilt? You can get the bindings done, right? Binding's the easy part, they say. But I'm still not a fan of binding. I still haven't figured out exactly my technique. Trina's here. Good morning. Just got dressed. Now to go get my project. Amen, girl. Hey, Denise. Thanks for being here. Hey, Stephanie from Stephanie Stitches. Thanks for joining us today. You are awesome. The balloonist is here from Tucson. Go Arizona, right? We're actually having a winning season all of a sudden with the Arizona Cardinals. So, you just never know what's going to happen in this state. Russ says, Wii bowling. You do know you can throw the ball backwards. I will have to admit, Russ, I did not know that you could throw the ball backwards, but if anyone could accomplish such a thing, I bet it was absolutely you. Oh, Brian says, I forgot the time change doesn't affect you. It does, though. It's what's so crazy. We don't ever change the clocks, but half the year for East Coast were 3 hours, then half the year were 2 hours. So I still have to do all the calculations. I just can't understand. As many people complain about it. Of course, our government can't function and get anything else done. So why would they ever just set the clocks? Our clocks have not changed in Arizona, interesting enough, since 1968. So, we've been not doing it since 1968. You would think the rest of the country doesn't need it, right? Hey, Vera. Hey. Thanks for being here. Pat, thanks for joining. Jean's here. All rainy morning here in the Bay Area. I can tell you what, in the Bay Area, rain is cold. I have been there because I used to work over in California, and we would frequent down to the bay occasionally and get to the pier so we could see the sea lions and all that. And almost every time I went down, I ended up being one of those that had to go to the gift shop and buy a hoodie because you don't realize it just, especially the difference between being inland and all of a sudden getting over to the bay. It is just amazing the temperature changes, even in July. We took our kids years, 100 years ago, to California and spent some time in San Francisco. And the one thing I really wanted to do was Alcatraz. And we got to Alcatraz during the July 4th weekend. We had to buy hoodies. So you just never know. Just so crazy. So, guys, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Today is Veterans Day. We celebrate our veterans. I do have some trivia that we will play along with. I do have some gifts and prizes. I have a couple of guests joining us today, and so that is exciting. And as you know, I am working on, oh my goodness, if I can reach it, Farmhouse Blues is the quilt top I am working on. You're free to work on, obviously, anything you want because it's not like I'm going to know what you're working on or not. But I did get all the squares cut. I got everything ready to start doing piecing this morning. Um, and I will admit, it took a lot more cutting than I thought it was going to. I did cheat. I found I had the AccuQuilt dies for the most part that allowed me to cut a lot of this out. But it's still, even once I got it all cut, then to go back and pair it and decide what 2 blocks I want it together and what 4 blocks I'm going to want together and all that craziness. Actually had a friend that helped me do that, and they matched up and did that part for me. So I know for every 2 pieces that I grab, that is the first of the two of the 4 blocks. And then once I get the 2 blocks done, hopefully we'll hit the ironing board today and get some ironing done, and then go back and put the 2 blocks to the 4 blocks. And then I actually did do the trim out the orders is what I'm going to call them. So it's the white pieces, right, to go in between. Of course, the sun's going to be here this morning. I did do that, and I actually decided, and I know someone on the chat's going to correct me because I'm not sure what this is called. But I decided instead of using plain white that I wanted to use the white that's got the like sublimation in it. So I think it just needed, I don't know. I just didn't like the idea of the plain white. So I thought this really kind of went with it and would give me what I'm looking for. So I did grab that this morning. Russ says, when he becomes ruler of the world, I want to get rid of DST and time zones, daylight saving times. Thank you. I've been playing with the embroidery machine. Let people decide the hours they want whenever they live, wherever they live, and then people don't have to translate time zones. I'm good with that. Oh, and by the way, could you also take us down to like a 32 or 28-hour work week? That would be cool as well. Vera says, I'm looking forward to it today. I'm having to work on putting together quilts so I can get them quilted on my domestic machine. See, we all have projects, we all have things to get done, and we will get it done. So, Veterans Day, interesting enough, is actually spelled without an apostrophe. There's no apostrophe used in Veterans Day. So it's not apostrophe S or S apostrophe. There's actually no apostrophe in Veterans Day. So I found that interesting, especially being an old grammar teacher. And I did find out that originally Veterans Day was known as Armistice Day, which was first celebrated on the 1-year anniversary of when the agreement to ceasefire was made in ending World War I. So I do remember hearing about Armistice Day, but it has been a long time. Oh, interesting. Katrina says, do you have a black light for your white on white? I actually do. This one seems to, right now, because I know where the folds are, I think I'm okay. But believe it or not, where I learned about the black light was last Christmas, and I don't remember whose box it was, but it was either Keepsake or Open Gate, or actually, I think it was the one. Can't think of it now. There was one that I bought like out of Idaho or somewhere. They actually had a black light in their box, and then and then they explained why they did that. So that's how I actually figured out how you're supposed to use a black light for your fabric. Put it on a dark surface to help identify the pretty side versus back side. Yes. And unfortunately, when I bought my sewing table, I decided to buy white. I'm not sure why I did that. I really, what's funny is I think the one at the park home, you can tell how often I've been there, is actually wood color. So it's like an oak or whatever, I think. Lord have mercy. I wish I hadn't brought that up. Now y'all go think I really am crazy. All right, so I need to get threading and get this put together. I don't know why. I obviously have some different colors, but most of this is going to be darker. Let me roll over here and see what I have for Aurafill. Make sure that I grab the right thing. Sorry, guys, I really didn't mean to do this piece for the live this morning, but I will say the live kind of crept up on me. It was like, wow, it's early here in Phoenix still. It's only 8 a.m. and usually I'm in the office by 6. But yeah, I'm still adjusting, getting back to the real world and real life and real responsibilities. And I don't know, it is what it is. All right, so let's take this one off. I think I am going to just do with black today. And I'm really going to make people nervous because I'm going to do it with um, glide thread. Because that's what I happen to have sitting here. Unless I want to do the gray. Maybe I'll do the gray. Let's do that. All right. Vera says, I'm looking forward today. I'm having to work on putting together quilts so I can get them quilt. Oh, I already read that. Where are we at? All right. I am good on chat for the moment. I need to open Nightbot because I definitely want us to be able to do some giveaways today. I've got about 4 different things that I grabbed out of my stashes. So working on that. Oh, and I wanted to show you all, I did finish the quilt that I was working on yesterday that we talked about. And I thought that was kind of cool. Also, so thanks for joining today, the Holiday Quilting Bee. I thought that was a cute name, kind of came up with that. At some point, maybe we'll find a cute Quilting Bee logo to really use on this. But the Thanksgiving announcement will be out tomorrow. So that will come out bright and early tomorrow morning. Just recorded that. And all the details about that one, it will be on Thanksgiving Day. The project and all that will be there. Again, we have such an amazing YouTube family that is willing to step up and participate with us and help us. I love the other content creators that I have gotten to know. It's just such a special group, special family, guys. We're so fortunate to have what we have because I tell you, I am one of those that watch the news, and I've been watching it a little bit more since the election just because I'm interested to hear what people are saying. And, in a way, we live in such a sad world at times, and the way we treat each other and talk to each other, and just having this YouTube family just means the world to me. Let me switch cameras. There's the other camera. There's all my stuff laid out. Look at, so this is the Nevada pattern. So that is another Villa Rosa design. Of course, this was actually a Villa Rosa kit that I bought. It did not call for these purple borders, but I did decide this needed the borders, and I got this done this morning, and I think it turned out amazing. So let's do it this way, maybe. Maybe it's better on this camera. Yeah, I think it is. So I really like these fabrics. It's just kind of wild and crazy. This went together really quick, but it's a pretty small quilt. So I think the borders really help it. But you can see all the flowers, all the designs, all those bright colors. I mean, I think it really turned out cute, but I really felt like it just needed that border to kind of bring it together. So it's interesting because Villa Rosa didn't even list it as an optional border. Sometimes they do. And that's okay. It was my quilt, so I paid for it. I can do whatever I want with it. And I chose to put a border on it. I had just bought this bolt of purple, and I thought it just went perfect with that quilt. All right. So let's go back to one camera. Oh, Danielle's here. Good morning, girl. Thanks for being here. We chatted. She's got to work part of the day or whatever. So, as we had talked about maybe having her as a guest this time, it didn't work out, but we will definitely get her on the show. I've been on her channel a couple of times and definitely want to get some time with her on my channel. So, that is going to happen. But I am so happy that you dropped in. Thanks for being here. Jen's here. Good morning, Jen. Thanks for being here. BB&K says, I love the border. It just, to me, it just needed that to finish it out. So I think it's interesting. Plus, I think I'm a big border person anyways. It just makes more sense to me. And so because of that, I tend to, I think, go after that. I'm trying to make sure I get, trying to set up Nightbot. Make sure that we can do some giveaways in a little bit. Oh, whoops. One. We're going to do keywords today. All right. Cool. All right. So we're there. Danielle says, shh, don't tell the bosses I'm slacking today. I don't think you're the only one slacking today. There's other people that are at work on the live this morning too. So how awesome is that, right? So I am, I haven't even been, yeah, I did finish threading this. See, I can't even remember what color thread I'm going to use. Let's see if we can get this one going this morning. I still need to call our veterans home. I want to get a hold of them to talk about um, donating some quilts and that. I think it's important that we support our veterans, and we actually have a veterans home in Phoenix. We actually have one in Tucson as well. So I would definitely like to do that. So that is the plan with this one. Although I'm following the Quilt of Valor pattern, which means this has been approved by that association and that. I am not meaning for this to end up being a Quilt of Valor. It's just meant to be an appreciation that'll end up with some veteran. And that's the purpose behind it. This pattern is 60 by 75. If you do put the optional border on, it's 72 by 87. Knowing me, I'll end up going back and putting the optional border on, but I'm going to wait until I get it all put together to decide, just like the one I just showed you. I had not originally planned to have to do a border on that, and then actually just bought that purple, that grape purple that turned out so cool that I ended up looking at it and going, wow, that just it needs a border to me. It just needed something to really pull it together. So that's where we got. Curious, had anyone been online shopping, playing around today? I have not. I have been trying to avoid life until Black Friday. I was trying to think what I wanted to say Thanksgiving, but I didn't. I know it wasn't Thanksgiving, so I have been trying to just kind of avoid things until then. So we'll see how that goes. I really don't need anything. Anything, as you know, I've spent way too much money and continue to buy things, but it's fun. I at some point want to tackle all that stuff behind me on the shelf and figure out, hey, how do I get this going? How do I make that happen? And we'll see. It's pretty cool that we have all the things that we have, and what I keep waiting for, which is so crazy, right? But I'm such a, I guess, East Coaster in a way that I keep waiting, thinking, hey, if I keep thinking, hey, maybe I on the next snow day, right? So when we have a good snow day, I'll be able to grab it and do something. Obviously, we don't get, well, my part of Arizona doesn't get snow days, so that's probably not going to happen. So I don't know. I will figure out how to start some of those projects. I am so far, I've never done the first Riley Blake door banner kit. So I really do want to do that. I actually have two because I doubled the subscription. Bought it from Stitch in Heaven and then turned around and bought it from Backwater Shop. But that's fine. I don't mind having two because I'm thinking it might be fun, might be nice to have one in my office and then have one here at the house. And so I am waiting to kind of see what that looks like. But we'll figure it out as I get them done, right? Because and what's nice is those kits actually came all pre-cut. So it really is just a matter of kind of putting things together and getting things going. But haven't done that yet. So we will figure that out and see how that goes at some point. Perfect. It takes me, does it take you all a couple of tries? I don't know why, right? So this first one stitched pretty good. The second one, not as well. Um, Close enough for government work, but it does, seems like it takes me three or four to kind of get in my groove. As you know, I got a groovy thing going on this morning. All right, let's see what else. I will say I do like using my AccuQuilt cutter. I spoiled myself with that not too long after I got into quilting because I didn't realize I was so worried when I first got into quilting. Number one, I was scared to death I was going to sew my finger. Number two, I was nervous about just sewing, right? Learning to sew, what that looks like, what that means. Had no clue that most of the time I would either be at the ironing board or at the cutting mat. It's like, okay, really, I spend more time doing those things than I do getting to actually stitch and have fun. Trina says you're on the TV tray, so I don't have to worry about you falling on the floor while I'm shifting this quilt top. You go, girl. I have a special, actually, it's a presentation podium thing that I ended up buying off of YouTube, not YouTube, Lord have mercy, Amazon. That's a little tripod stand, and that it wasn't actually very expensive. But I learned with the vibrations and that of the sewing machines, even though I put a vibrating mat on, it was better to get all of that pushed over. Oh, Brian's fortunate to be off the entire week. So he is going to knock out his Thanksgiving and Christmas table runners and pillows. Dude, I am so jealous. And I shouldn't be, right? Because I just got back off vacation, but I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation. I just feel like I have just been running and gunning, and I don't know, it's just like I never get anything done. I started flipping the house for Christmas. So I ended up putting all the Halloween away. And one of my friends goes, "Wow, I didn't know people had this much Halloween." And I was like, "You have no clue." Because, like, I didn't put the trees up this year because I knew I wasn't going to be here. I knew I wasn't doing the party. So I have four Halloween trees. Those didn't go up this year. I have at least four bins of stuff that I never even opened this year. So it was just crazy. So when I started dragging Christmas out, I think they were a little surprised. And I'm like, Yeah, I'm not even like we haven't even opened the cabinets in the garage. We haven't opened the cabinets in the utility room. Like this is just the stuff I'm bringing home from storage. And by the way, there's 7 or 8 bins that I'm not even touching there. So I don't know, it's just funny. We all have different measurements of what we do for the holidays. I've got 4 smaller inflatables that I bought last year at the end of the season. So they are brand new because I'm not much on having a lot of inflatables, but my house, the way it sits, is a corner lot. So I have a lot of really space. One is like a welcome arch. It's a low arch, not a big one. That says like "Merry Christmas, welcome to my street" or something. It was really cute. It was not expensive, and because it wasn't crazy big, I did buy that. So I am kind of anxious to set that up along with a few others that I bought. But we'll see. I have no idea where I'm going to the time I'm going to take to do all that. And then I ended up buying 3 new Christmas trees, so I've got those coming. But I wanted to have those and have those ready. Um, and then I've got permanent lights going on the house um, late this week. So I'm anxious. So my house will be pre lit professionally from now on. I won't have to worry about climbing a ladder and doing that. And then I can have lights any time of the year I want. I can have Valentine lights. I can have St. Patrick's Day lights. I can have Fourth of July lights. So I think that will be pretty awesome and pretty cool. And they weren't crazy expensive considering um, the cost I was paying to have someone put the lights up every year for me because I'm just not good up and down on a ladder, just not happening. Alexandria says we will be in the 30s next week here where I'm at in South Dakota, so we might get some snow. Not sure. I guess we will find out. That is so crazy to me. I am just trying to get used to the fact that today our high is supposed to be 79. And I'm like, see, I'm just not, I don't mind this weather. I really don't. But people go, oh my God, this is just perfect weather. I'm still in the 80s, especially in Arizona because we have no humidity. So even 80s can be cold. And especially at night, you want a sweatshirt, or I do because I'm a big baby, but that's okay. Oh, Russ says, don't do anything too exciting while I'm gone. He's got to go to a meeting. We're going to miss Russ when he's here. Alexandria says hi to Don. Yeah, Jackie says pre-lighting sounds interesting. Yeah, so they're called Govee lights, and so they're kind of like stick-up lights in that but they come in like 4 different varieties, and you can run them on your iPhone and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, you know what, it just makes sense to do something like that. So that is what we are doing. And I am excited to have those because and I'm like one of, I think, 3 houses. One, two, three. Yeah, on my street, on both streets, because I'm on that corner. There's only 3 of us that even have Christmas lights that go up. And I get it because I mean, like one of my neighbors. In fact, it's funny. The one neighbor that puts out a bunch of inflatables and does Christmas way over the top, kind of like me. They're like 85 and 87 or something. They're well in their 80s. And so their kids actually live local somewhat and come over and help because I think they figured out they weren't going to stop mom from having her Christmas like she's used to. So it's funny, but a lot of neighbors I've got that just they can't from a health perspective do it, nor from a safety perspective do it. So I get why they don't do it, but it still would be still fun, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm a child at the holidays. I like my Christmas under the tree. I like lots of packages. Talked about yesterday with some friends, about what do you want to do for the holidays? What do you want to do for Christmas? What makes sense? And they were like, "We just want to come to your house. We just want, can't you, put some food together and do some things?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can." So it looks like that is what John will be doing for the holidays this year. And I'm okay with that. I like having my holidays. I like having people over. I last year had a Christmas party, a neighborhood party, a cookie exchange, several things. And this year, I think I'm actually just doing one Christmas party. Probably won't do the cookie exchange because I'm going to Hallmark to do their the Hallmark Christmas experience. So I've got that. So it's like I've already got too much other stuff happening. And as a result, I need to make sure that I am saving time for other things as well. Jen says, my Christmas decorations consist of a red, black, and silver door wreath, hanging a holiday wall hanging, and putting a Santa ornament in the stuffed alligator's mouth. Pretty minimal. You know what? But if that's your holiday and that's the way you celebrate and that's the way you like it, that's all that matters to me. Yeah, I've got friends that go, wow, like you're so over the top, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy decorating. I enjoy having my decorations up. I've got other friends that go, well, we just come to your house so we don't have to do this anymore. I get that too. So, and I may get that way at some point, but we all need to celebrate with what makes sense for us. Because Lord knows we got enough pressures going on with other things in the world. Katrina says we won't do much going out of town on the 27th, and I don't want to leave it all for Mike to take care of. I so get that. It just, that's the thing. I know Stephanie's going to be traveling over the holidays and that. So, that again is why I am, believe it or not, cutting way back because I know I'm going to be traveling and doing some things. Because I will be at Stitch in Heaven for New Year's Eve. So we will not have a holiday quilting bee for New Year's Eve. We will have our next one, obviously, for Thanksgiving. And like I said, that'll be posted tomorrow. And then we will do another one. I'm thinking Christmas Day. I don't think I'm going to look at doing both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And we actually may bump it up a little earlier especially for you East Coasters. So it's more morning versus late morning, afternoon. I'm thinking about doing 7 a.m. Because I just don't know that I can do 6 a.m. But I definitely want to do, definitely want to be able to do Christmas with you all so we can all have some fun together and talk. So that'll definitely be happening. I just have to get the details worked out. But one holiday at a time, right? We're just getting to Thanksgiving. So again, too crazy. What do I do with my holiday trivia? Let's look at trivia again, folks. Katie says I live across the street from the Griswolds. Uh, but see how exciting can that be sometimes. Jen says I gave most of my holiday stuff to the kids. The sad part is I did too. So when I left Virginia, I gave my daughter a ton of stuff. I mean, wreaths and all kinds of stuff. I actually now have more than I used to have. So it's just crazy. And I don't even have kids. Um, yeah, Stephanie says I'm not putting much up because she's traveling during the season. See, I so get that. Alexandria says, I love Christmas, but I can't put up anything until after Thanksgiving. My family doesn't like when I put up stuff before then. I so get that. I really do. The problem is, I was one of those that was very old fashioned. I absolutely used to love Black Friday. I couldn't wait to get up and do Black Friday and be able to have parts of that. And then we would do Black Friday, do shopping, do breakfast early, buy for the kids, and do all that. And then tradition was Saturday morning, we would start dragging out the Christmas and spend the next 2 days just decorating everything for Christmas. Well, that was tradition for me until I started blowing things out, had to start doing it all by myself and doing it on my own. And so because of that, it ended up I start earlier. And as the decorations grew, it seems like I started earlier and earlier. And so now I am now starting early November because it takes me a couple of weeks to really get it all put together. And if I want to have holiday parties, I need the house decorated for the holiday parties. So in order to do, it's like, okay, so I got all this. It's just so crazy. So we get there. We make it all happen. Hey, Katie, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on today. Alexandria says so when Thanksgiving dinner is done, stuff starts going up. Amen, girl. I tell you, that's I used to love that with the kids, but I wouldn't even think about going Black Friday shopping anymore. I used to love shopping on Black Friday. And it's not the same anymore. I mean, COVID helped because some of the stores quit opening on Thursday. So most of them went back to Friday, but I don't think the sales are what they used to be. I don't think the bargains are, like they used. I don't know. It's not the same crazy fun experience that it used to be. And so it really made me step back and go, I don't need that. I don't want that. And I tend to do most of mine online now. We have a store called At Home, AT Home. So I went Friday night, went out to dinner and that, and I said, "Oh, hey, I want to run to At Home. I just want to see some Christmas decorations. I usually like some things that they have, blah blah blah." I literally can spend $300 to $400 easily in At Home. I'm like a child in a candy shop. I found nothing. I walked out with nothing. I was like, and they're doing this baby candy stuff now, where they do. It's like this baby blue and pink and more of a seafoam green and that. I don't like those colors. Those colors to me are absolutely not Christmas. And they had a ton of that stuff, and I was like, yeah, so um, that doesn't appeal to me. So I was like, okay, so none of that is going to happen for me. Veterans Day, the official end of World War One, was known as the Great War or the War to End All Wars, and that was not signed until June of 1919, um, and that's when the treaty was signed. November 11 is Veterans Day each year, with only the day of the week fluctuating. What's the significance of the exact date? The armistice between the Allied forces and Germany was put into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. So I had no idea um, the level of detail, right? So the 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. So that's how we end up with Veterans Day on November 11th. Yeah, Katie says Black Friday deals online that in-store shopping just isn't the same, and it's not. And I was one of those that always said I had to touch it, feel it, grab it, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm over all of that now, so nope, don't have to worry about that at all. Alexandria says, but now I have a way around that rule. Not that I'm trying to do a YouTube channel, but I have to do videos early for Christmas. So now I can put my stuff up in my studio early. You go. And if you want to do a channel, reach out. There's plenty of us that my channel's only a little over a year old. Um, More the merrier. We all support each other. And but I'll be anxious to see what you put up. Alexandria says next year I say it goes up in July. You go. I have always thought it would really be fun to drag out a few Christmas trees and stuff and decorate for Christmas in July. I have not done that. I don't know that I will ever get to that point, but I do kind of like doing that. I do a lot of pride decorations in the house, not so much exterior. I do put a wreath and a few things up, but I do like decorating for pride in June because really once you end with Easter in March, April, depending on where it falls, You've got Memorial Day that you can do some patriotic stuff for, but you want to do the same patriotic stuff for July 4th. So I've got friends that just leave that same stuff up all summer, and it's like, nah, I need more of a variety. So that just doesn't work for me. Mm-mm. All right, so we are at 8 8:42 my time. So why don't we do the first giveaway this morning? So I grabbed a Christmas holiday charm pack. This one is called the Holiday Charms. It's the um, holiday color story. It doesn't have a picture of all the different charms that's in, but that is what the charm pack looks like. They are all 5 by 5. There's 42 pieces in there. So let's take a couple of minutes, guys, and give me a second. Let me get it in um, Nightbot. And if you would put exclamation exclamation point charm, CHARM. And we'll take about 3 minutes to give folks a chance to get that in the chat. And then we will do a random drawing for that, and we will be getting that sent out. So just in the chat, put exclamation point charm, CHARM. And we will see if we can do our first giveaway this morning. Mm-mm-mm. Another thing around Veterans Day says in 1954, Armistice Day was updated by Congress to be known as Veterans Day since the United States had fought in two other massive wars, World War II and the Korean War. This allowed all veterans of all wars, it says, to be recognized, to be honored. So, I have so much respect and pride for the men and women that serve. I think it's an amazing thing. My son has been in the Air Force for 18 years now. He keeps reminding me because I tell him I've got 6 to 8 years before I retire. He keeps reminding me that he's going to retire in 2 years, which he will. He'll probably retire from the Air Force, but then we'll end up bouncing back to civilian life in the real world. He actually just finished his degree, and as such is when he graduates and when he graduates college this coming 2025 summer. Oh, there it is. All right, guys, I hope that was okay. Blanked out on my side, frozen. So hopefully it's come back. No idea what's going on. Edelweiss Quilting, thanks for being here today. Welcome in. Are we good now, guys? Cool. Awesome. All right, let's Hey guys, I hope that we are back live. How crazy is that? Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone. I usually in the other room can watch and see what's going on here. Thanks, Alexandria. I have no idea what's going on, guys. I am so sorry. I You just never know with technology what is going to happen. I will not. I will admit I am absolutely not the most technological guy out there, but I have no idea what's going on this morning. So, all right. So think I think we are back in live and going good now. Hopefully, we will keep things up and running. So, we were doing a giveaway for the charm pack for the Christmas charm pack. So let's see if we can finish that out before the gremlins come back and get me. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I'm on the right mic. I am. So everything else I think is working fine. All right. So let's see what they have. So let's roll a winner. And it looks like Stitcher has won the giveaway. So, Stitcher, if you would send me an email at john at guyscraft2.com and just send me your name and address and just put charm pack in the subject. I will get those mailed out this week for you, and you'll have a little extra Christmas charm pack coming your way. So, congratulations. Thanks for being on the channel this morning, and thanks for patiently hanging on as we worked out whatever's going on with the technology. That is the one thing that we never know. And that is unfortunately one thing I cannot control. It's interesting. I am on fiber optic um, internet. So I that's the first time I have ever had trouble, but you just never know what's going to happen. And that's the fun thing about live. I think it was interesting. Russ sitting on here right now to tell the story, but I think it was Sean on the guy who sews, and then Russ, Quilt Meets World, were doing a live together, and they had I think it was Sean that lost power, and of course it's his show, he's controlling it, he's running it, and then at the same time, just didn't couldn't get he just disappeared. So Russ is trying to go along with it, trying to do everyone, and just too crazy. So there's Kelly. Kelly's joining me today. She says, "Hi, everyone." She's going to be on in about 40 minutes, and her laptop should be good to go. So Kelly's going to be our first guest this morning. And then right behind Kelly, we're going to have KT from the Greenland Quilter will be on to chat in that after Kelly. And so I thought after doing the Labor Day quilting holiday quilting bee that it might be nice that you all had a little bit of variety and just didn't have to listen to me drone on and on and on. But I appreciate that you all are willing to and that you all share so much and again are just such a great audience. So Guys, I am really sorry. I have no idea what's going on with the technology today. It is just absolute. Guys, I am so sorry. I have no idea what's going on today. It's very frustrating. Hey guys, I think I am finally back. I am so sorry. I have no idea. I ended up going out and restarting and playing that game. I have no idea why. I actually think it's a StreamYard problem because I checked my router and did all of that in the router, and everything else is working good. So fingers crossed, we have fixed it. I hope. I appreciate the ones that hung out and were able to put up with my technology glitches. I have no idea what's going on. I am so sorry about that, but hopefully um, we have resolved the issues and we won't have these going forward. But just so great, that's the problem with technology. It's great when it's here and it's great when it's not, but then you just never know um, what else is happening. So hopefully that is still good. So looks like we're still got about 27 folks hanging out. So thank you all for being patient with me. Hopefully this resolves our issues for the rest of the day. Um, yeah, Katie says he may have started a new stream, and that's actually what I did. So hopefully that fixes it. Katrina says she's doing the happy dance because she's got 16 blocks is now quilted, and I know exactly how you feel. All right. Ryan says, welcome back to your quilting beat, right? Just so crazy, guys. You just never know. I mean, between the park home and here, I bounce back and forth with technology. I usually keep a TV on in the background so I can see what's going on with me. I can see if I need to fix my hair a little bit or whatever else needs to happen. But fingers crossed, we are now up and running and we are going to be good for the day. So we will see how that goes. All right. Russ says, besides the gremlins and the giveaway, what did I miss? You probably missed a couple of good stories. We actually talked about Russ, just so you know, your story with Sean, the guy who sews, and I couldn't remember which one lost power, but I thought it was Sean that ended up losing the power because he was hosting the Zoom in that. And so I said, it's not like we haven't seen that happen before. And yes, I did pay my internet bill. It's on automatic pay because I would never remember to pay all my bills if I didn't have everything on automatic pay. I just can't imagine. I remember the old days. My mother would sit, and at a desk and just write all these checks and mail everything. And I cannot imagine having to go back to writing checks and that. Although I have checks, it's interesting. Like, so for example, our quilt club here, um, I think it's $20 a year for us to be a member of the quilt club in the community. They only will take a check for their membership. So, if you don't have check, it really makes it difficult. So I always have checks, but I will say I don't write too many. Yeah, he says Sean lost the power and I was stuck on live solo, my first live. That was hysterical. Oh no, I didn't realize it was your first live. I did not realize that. I knew you all were new, and but I didn't realize that was actually your first live. So look at you. We have to go back and watch that. That has got to be an interesting one to watch because I will tell you guys, I have no desire to watch some of my old videos. It's just I feel like I've grown and done a lot over the years, but I can't imagine going back and watching some of my old ones. See, Russ the same way. I normally write one check Now everybody's back. Guys, I am sorry. I have no idea. I think it's actually StreamYard that is giving me the issues today, and um, not my fiber optic. I mean, I'm showing complete just strength, so I have no idea. But I appreciate you all hanging in here today. I will definitely, if we are able to get through this today, I will definitely look at making some changes moving forward. I've never had this issue, never had it on any other lives, um, no other places. So, but I definitely can't live this way. This is going to be too crazy. Oh, Katie says, "Are you StreamYard free?" No, I actually pay for StreamYard because I like some of the features and that they have. The only thing I don't like about StreamYard, I will tell you, is they do have a limit to the number of guests that you could have. So if I wanted to do um, like some of the others do and have, like, 40, 50 people join the Zoom and actually do this where folks could join in on the quilting bee and that. StreamYard limits me to um, 8 guests total. So it's not near the number of guests that you can get on like a Zoom. So I don't like that feature, but there's so many other things. Like yesterday, um, recording the holiday quilting bee in that. What's really cool about StreamYard is StreamYard, when you go in to record, automatically drops my intro and my outro in. So I don't have to actually go in and do that manually. It's all part of just the recording. But we will definitely be looking at doing something if this is going to continue to happen, because it's just not, this ain't gonna work, folks. I can't, bad enough trying to talk for 3 hours, figure things out. I got guests lined up, I got prizes lined up. And I've looked forward to this. I put a lot of work in getting ready for this. Let me tell you, just cutting the fabric yesterday was a lot of work. It's funny when you pick a pattern. I purposely did want to do something patriotic. I purposely looked at what was available and then ended up um, still having to go to the store, thinking I still had all that um, fabric and all the stuff that I needed. Now, Katie says maybe it's a time limit. No, I've been using StreamYard for a year. I did the last holiday quilting bee with StreamYard. I don't have a limit on the time, just a limit on the total of guests. Brian said he's still having fun. That means Brian is getting things accomplished. Brian, you missed yesterday, but I ended up having to go to the store to pick up some more fabric for today, and I found this from Laura Lee Designs, and they had this in the store, and I absolutely did not need it, but ended up grabbing this fabric yesterday because I just love these colors. I just love everything about this. I love the fact that she's got thread spools in her hair and that. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but you know what? Something just told me I had to have it, so I grabbed it anyways. Oh, Russ says maybe it's because you said earlier Veterans Day doesn't have an apostrophe and you put one in the title. You know what? I sure did. Look at you paying attention to detail. Who's got time to pay attention to detail? Killing me. I did not realize I did that. And it's funny because I just read that off the script, right? Funny as that. Oh, Jackie said it's not just me. A couple of others were down earlier this morning. So I'm betting it must be a StreamYard must be having an issue today, which I've never had an issue with their platform. But that's the problem. We rely on so many other folks and so many other things happening to make make life work, but we sure seem to get there. Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures. Pastry Queen. Now, see, that sounds like someone that needs to be besties with me. Pastry Queens. I really like the idea of that. Um, it says, I'm just lurking, but I'm sewing up quilts. That's the problem with me. I am a huge lurker on most channels because I end up, the problem is I end up I have TVs mounted in several rooms, of course, not this one. So I can't always watch what's going on with the YouTube. Um, but because of it, if I want to make a comment and that, then I have to run somewhere and find a computer or grab my phone and all that. So I'm on a lot of channels and watch a lot of things, but I don't always keep up. Sorry, my mind is just blown right now. I don't always keep up with the chat. It's hard to keep up with the chats and that so sometimes. Thanks. I did like the fabric. There's just something that called out to me when I saw that, and I was like, "Ah, just had to do it." Brian says he finally got his new machine, so I'm on top of the world playing with all the new stitches. So Brian, you have to put in the chat now, obviously, what machine you decided to get because I know you were debating, but I think Brother, if I'm not mistaken, is where you were leaning, which is a Russ machine. He has Brother. So Blessed by Jess says she's doing the same thing. She's lurking, cleaning, and cooking. Oh, I should be cleaning. I did actually do the floors and actually clean the master bedroom really well. He did get the Brother Stellar too. See, I remember things. There are things that I remember. I hope you love that machine. That's a beautiful machine. I just saw it one of the quilt stores I went in the other day, and I thought, wow. Yeah, obviously I stitch with a Juki. I am a Viking epic person, but I love Brothers. And like I said, the PR 600 I had years ago was a 6 head embroidery machine. We still use it. I mean, that machine is still running. It was an amazing machine. So I think sometimes Brother gets a bad rap, and I think machines that Walmart and different ones sell end up getting a bad rap because they're like so entry level. But it's like sometimes folks can only afford that, and it should be about us getting to be, you know, into a hobby, into a craft, and we do it at whatever price point we want. It doesn't mean just because Walmart happens to sell that level of machine that it's a bad machine, or Joann's for that fact. Joanne sells Viking. So I know looking at that machine, it's a beautiful machine. One of the women in Quilt Club actually has that machine and loves that machine. So you, I bet, are having the time of your life today because there's nothing more fun. I actually have toyed with taking some of the decorative stitches and using them on the binding on some of the quilts and that. And I actually found one that I really kind of liked, and it stitched out so cool that I did a 2.5 inch binding and was looking at possibly doing when I do my granddaughter's quilt, doing one of those designs because I think she would just love it. Well, Brian says, I can't wait to try the couching. I think that would be fun. I just saw a design the other day that had a bunch of that, and I thought, wow, that would really be cool. I know I've got a couple of machines that will do that, but I have not tried it. But it's something else, to go on the list. You just never know. The Stitcher says, I watch most YouTubes on the TV also. Computer was expensive, TV was cheap. Would rather overheat that. Yep, totally get that. Oh, Pastry Queen says, I'm sewing on an antique 301A I just bought on Marketplace. It is fabulous. She paid $20. Oh my gosh. How crazy is that? I've got a few friends in Quilt Club that they only sew on their featherweight. And that's the only machine that they have. It's the only machine they use. It's the only, and it's like, wow, I would have never. It's funny, that's how I ended up with the Jukies because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, really 90% of what we do is straight stitch. And so, although I've got machines that do all these other decorative stitches, the straight stitch on the Juki is what made sense to me. It's what makes me able I can hold a perfect quarter inch, scant quarter inch seam on this Juki where I could never figure out and never make it work on any of the other machines I had, including my Berninas. And so I ended up on the Juki. I'm very happy with my Juki and wish I had started with such a less expensive machine. But now I've got my collection like everybody else. I remember when I started, I asked one of the ladies, I said, "Why do all these women have so many machines? They have multiple machines. Like, how many machines could you possibly use?" We don't even want to get started, right? So, because I have a sit down long arm, an automated long arm, it's one of those things that became a fever. And yes, I have all the toys and all the bells and whistles now, and I can chat with all the women. It's interesting. One of the quilt stores I went into, you could tell obviously I'd never seen a man in a quilt store, and so they had lots of questions for me, but mostly it was about what machines do you use and what machine do you stitch on. And I was like, well, are you talking about piecing? Are you talking about when I long arm? Are you talking about when I do, blah, blah, blah. And you could tell they were like surprised that I had a little bit more knowledge than they thought I did. So, like, really? It's 2024. The world has moved on. We're not all crazy like we used to be. But we'll see. Hmm. I am almost done with the twos, and then I can press them real quick if I can get Laura Star over there to warm up, and then I can go back and start making my four blocks. I may actually get quite a bit done today. How crazy is that? Then the problem is if I actually get this done, then I still have to go back and put it on the long arm and get it quilted, right? A pastry queen says that it's in a table that opens up, which is nice. That's how I ended up going and buying me a sewing table. I decided it was well worth the investment. Alexandria says I have a 1954 Singer that I got for free, but I am sewing on my little brother 625. Yeah, right. I mean, it's the machine I think that we feel comfortable with. And so it's not about price point, it's about the machine that works for us. Pastry Queen has 7 antique machines, and I'm ashamed to say how many newer ones I have. But although she has given away a handful of those, whoops, 8. Oh my goodness, girlfriend. I can't say anything, right? Because I have Berninas, I have Vikings, I have Genomes, I have um, 3 Jukis. Um, been down that path. So, but, it's what made sense and what works for me. Right. I need to finish up with these. What time is it? 9:20. So things are going well. We've got Kelly coming on in just a little bit. And hopefully StreamYard's going to be good to us. And we are going to keep the party going. Did you guys do anything special as far as picnic food or anything like that today? Because I did not. I am alone today, and that's why I am here hanging out with my besties on YouTube. Um, my big fancy Veterans Day meal will probably consist of frozen chicken nuggets that I bought at Sam's and Walmart dinner fries. I may get fancy and open a small can of pork and beans. we will see. I actually went to Sam's Club Friday night, picked up several things. First time I'd actually been in the club for a while. I do a lot of curbside with them. That's one of the things I like about them over Costco, the fact that I can do curbside with them. But I ended up doing that and having some fun. I really went in because I wanted a new Christmas tree, but they didn't have a tree that I wanted. So I ended up coming home and ordering online what I wanted, which ended up being three new Christmas trees. So I have a new Christmas tree for the bedroom, which is a rainbow Christmas tree. I have a new mid-century tree. BBMK's ears just perked up. So I have the silver aluminum tree for the living room that I have bought that's new this year. And then I have a really, really nice flocked Christmas tree that I have in that's really supposed to be my main family Christmas tree, but I didn't like the flocking on it. It was so heavy and just such a mess. And I don't know that I'm going to fool with that one this year. So I bought one that's lightly flocked, not near as bad, and actually has what's I gonna say? It rotates. So not only is it pre-lit, 7.5 feet, blah blah blah. It will actually run on the Alexa device. I can't believe I said her name. Okay. So it will coordinate and run on the Amazon device, which is what I wanted, but it actually rotates. So you have to make sure you put the ornaments on just the way you want them because it rotates around and shows everyone your ornaments. So that'll be fun to have some new trees this year, have some new variety. And that's probably all the trees I'm putting up. Well, I lied. I did bring the Grinch home from storage. So I have the Grinch, and it is that lime green, and it's bent over, and it holds the big red uh, bulb ornament and that, which is really cool. Look, guys, I found this fabric the other day. So whoever, poor veteran, whatever veteran ends up with this will end up with a few gnomes tossed in on their quilt. So hopefully they like gnomes. And if they don't, it doesn't matter because I'm the one that got to select and choose the fabric on this. But and that's kind of fun and exciting too, because I will say I've done so many kits that it's kind of fun now that I'm starting to venture out and do my own and picking my own fabrics. But I say that knowing that I have about 10 tubs full of quilt kits that still need to get done. Picture Queen says she resurrected the antiques herself. I a lot would have ended up in the landfill if I didn't take them, right? And that's so sad, especially this young generation. They just don't even know. I mean, it's funny. To me, if Singer was smart, they'd go back and reproduce some of those featherweights um, and not even modernize them. Right? Just clean them up a little bit and put them out there. And I think they'd be shocked at how many people would line up to buy that machine. Of course, the problem is they probably want $1,200 for it nowadays. And Jackie says she's gonna order pizza later, maybe. I get that. It's funny. I thought about pizza all day yesterday. I don't know why. I ended up having I fixed chicken Florentine for dinner last night. So, but I did just because I wanted something different, and I used the bow tie pasta when I made it. Brian says he's got chicken to put on the grill. I have it marinating in the fridge right now. Don't know what else yet. Yes, that sounds good. It's funny. I started a Sam's order today and I thought, you know what? I need some chicken. I don't have, typically, I buy a bulk of chicken breast and then put some in the, package it up, put it in the freezer. I haven't done that. And Pastry Queen says she bought a Sam's Club chicken to eat. Oh, BBMK says she loves her evergreen palm tree. I bet that is cute. She is into the MCM with me. Alexandria said I bought a Fav 130 for $100, and I thought it was just buying the desk that it was in, and I wasn't going to get it, but then realized that I had asked her if the machine came with it. Oh, that's awesome. And she said yes, I couldn't help but to buy it. That is amazing. Gene says, wow, rotating tree, you're fancy, fancy. Actually, it's one of the less expensive trees that I bought. Ended up getting it off Amazon. My niece, who is like a sister to me because I really don't have one, only has rotating trees in all of her houses. And I thought they had quit making those and happened to pop up today. And I was like, you know what? I think I want that as my main tree. So we'll see. I'm anxious to see how that turns out. Oh yeah, I forgot about Danielle and gnomes, right? She does. Her ears do perk up anytime you say that word. See, Brian's such a cool guy, right? Surround yourself with what makes you happy. It's easier to block out the world when you need to. Amen, right? There is just so much hate and ugliness in the world anymore. I just, why I tend to stay in my area, do my thing, and not worry so much about what else is going on. All right, I'm gonna switch over to the second camera because I do want to iron just a little bit. There we go. Because I do like to press out, so I do want to get to make the 4 blocks. I need to press those out. Curious how many others are working on the same pattern, even though you could be working on the same pattern and not making it patriotic. I mean, obviously they make the farmhouse blues. You can do it in any other colors that you want. Just curious if any of you guys are working on the same pattern or something different. So, part of history says from 1971 to 1977, the Uniform Holiday Bill went into effect, which moved Veterans Day from its set date of November 11th to being celebrated on a Monday, allowing federal employees to always have a 3-day weekend. Then we came back and said that was so confusing and unnecessary for just those 6 years that we went back and continued to honor Veterans Day on the original date. So in 1978, Veterans Day was changed once again to November 11th by President Gerald Ford. Oh, just funny. We just never know what's going on. Um, all right. Russ says, I wish I was working on a quilt. He had in office requirements. Unfortunately, I have to go to the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. I have a couple of late days, so I'll be fighting um, um, traffic both ways. It won't be so bad in the morning, but it will be in the afternoon and just makes such a long week. But, it's what pays the bills. That's why I was able to go buy the fabric I wanted yesterday. So hopefully Laura Star is going to get warmed up over there and we will press out some stuff real quick. Picture Green says, I'm working on a Crumby content for my channel. It's a surprise. Ooh, that'll be fun to see. Because my full-time job takes me away from my live watching. Right. Oh, and looks like Kelly's joining in. Kelly, can you hear us? I can't see you yet, but I can.
No, just a minute.
No problem, girl.
There we go.
There she is. Look at that.
Yeah, sorry, my light's a little funky, everybody.
How are you this morning?
I'm all good.
It is exciting. It's his first time. So Kelly and I've chatted back and forth, but it's the first time we've actually got to be together.
Okay.
Well, Jennifer says, I watch you all the time, and I met the ladies at Quilt Festival in Houston. I was chatting with the Villa Rosa, and I mentioned you. Well, thank you so much, Miss Jennifer. I appreciate that.
I was trying to watch the stream on YouTube, but I think I was getting the echo from it, so I just took it off. So I can't see any chat anymore, anyone.
Perfect. So, Kelly, how have you been this Veterans Day?
So far, so good. It is only 8:32 a.m. Just getting going.
But now you're up in Canada.
Yeah, we call it Remembrance Day. It kind of the same thing. Unfortunately, it's pouring rain, so the ceremonies around town, there's always a local one because you know those, I think that they call it a cenotaph, the big stone monument somewhere obvious in your city or town that has got the names of people that have died in the wars on it. That's where the ceremony is. There's like a square and people come and, you know, dignitaries and veterans and cadets and et cetera, lay down the wreath. At 11 a.m. is the moment of silence.
Oh, that's probably kind of a special time, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So Tony and I usually watch like the national one is in Ottawa and it's long done because it is already 11:30 there, so they're finished. Mm-hmm. But we usually watch the local one from Vancouver on the news because they always play it live at, you know, starting about 10ish.
Yep.
And then we watch that.
So that makes it really special. So are you Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, so many folks have moved back and forth across the border and that. And it's like, okay, so are you actually, you know, or are you one of those that ended up like some of us that got transplanted?
Nope. I've lived in British Columbia my entire life. I live east of Vancouver by 100 kilometers. I think that's 60 miles, maybe 65. Oh, really? So that's about an hour's drive. So give or take.
Yeah, that's not a bad drive at all then.
No, it's not that bad. My husband and I, my mom and dad went into Vancouver on Friday because we had to go do some shopping with them. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely bucketing right now. Holy crow.
Really?
Ooh. I don't know if you can hear it, but I got the window open. I don't know if the laptop mic's picking it up, but it is absolutely pounding out there right now.
Oh, wow. Isn't that sad? Because, I mean, this is such a special day, right? So.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time on November 11th that the ceremony was in the bucketing rain and everyone's got umbrellas. I'm just going up to press. So if I disappear further away, that's why.
Okay. That's what I'm doing. I got to press a little bit so I can sew my 4 blocks together. So what are you working on? Or didn't you say you're working on a holiday coaster? Kelly, what project are you working on?
Hang on.
We're good.
I'll show everybody in a second.
All right. Listen, as long as the live stays going today, we're all good. It's been such a crazy technology morning, you know?
Okay, I'm making coasters.
Oh, those are cute too. So you're doing the what we would consider that red fruck, right? So
Yeah. And I have just a green solid. So what I did for the quilting was just like an X.
yeah.
And I put red thread on the top and I put cream in the bobbin. And I just went around. I didn't stop and start. I just basically made it look like an hourglass on the back. And I started pressing to do the binding.
Right.
Last year in December, I made myself coasters. These are going to be a gift, but I made some for myself and I sort of figured out my definitive way of how I decided I wanted to do it. And I did put a video of it with hopefully a good explanation.
Oh, good.
I have a playlist for all this stuff for quilting, sewing, like bags and whatever. Just so you don't have to hunt around my channel, there is a playlist. So what I want to do next is I did press just, I think I have about 1.5 inches
Okay.
from the edge of the square. This square is 5.5 inches. Same with batting, and the big square is 8. You can pretty much make it whatever way you want. Just give yourself enough of the backing that you can make binding with it, like cheater binding, right? So now I'm going to press over one more time and fold like that so that it's on one side. And I do 2 sides at a time. So once the other side is the same and I have this pressed down, I'm only going to sew from this corner to this corner, right along the edge. And
how cool.
Yeah, that holds down 2 of the sides. So it's not all flapping around and, it just makes your life easier. And then when you have those done, then you can do the other 2 and fold and miter the corner and wiggle it into position and make it look tidy. This is kind of my result of trial and error several times. Watching other people do it, fiddling it around myself, going, oh, crud, that didn't work. Let's try this. That's how I figure most stuff out. Goof it up a couple times and then go, aha.
Well, and that is, and I think especially in quilting, I think that has kind of become the thing because I remember, so I'm still figuring out exactly how I like to do my binding. But, I asked so many of the women in the quilt club and that they all had a different opinion about how it should be done, what it should look like. And at the end of the day, I finally figured out this is what makes sense in my mind. And if it makes sense in my mind, that's what we're going with because it's just everybody can do binding 10 different ways, or more than that probably.
Absolutely. And what makes sense for you doesn't make sense for somebody else. And what makes sense for me doesn't make sense for somebody else. So everybody just do it the way that clicks.
So Kelly, have you been settled down? It seemed like you were traveling or just had so many things going for a long time.
No, we haven't done any real traveling lately. We were camping in the summer, and then September got a little bit busy just with stuff going on. Our daughter's birthday's then. One of her really good friends got married, and we were helping out because these people are friends of ours, and she's like another daughter. So we were helping out with a lot of stuff for the wedding for them. So September got a little wild, and then it slowed down in October other than we had Thanksgiving.
We need those down times,
Yep.
I don't mind being busy, but there are times that I go, wow, I just can't, I just need some downtime, folks.
Yeah. And November is pretty quiet usually. Then just it's got stupidly windy now too. Oh, that's great. Oh, well, this is the weather we were supposed to get overnight. And we're getting it now.
Of course.
Figures. Yeah, my husband's birthday's in the middle of December, so we kind of got going with that.
Okay, all right. And you all Canada has a Thanksgiving, but your all's is another time.
Yeah, it was last month. It's
Okay.
the second Monday of October. Whatever date that. Yeah, I think this year was the 10th. I forget.
Oh wow! So it's on a Monday.
Yeah. So we always have a long weekend, and it depends on people's work schedule, etc. But we usually do our family dinner on the Sunday.
Okay.
Just because everybody has Monday off, right? And we can get together, and yeah, it's just easier. But some people do it on Monday because, we happen to have turkey.
I was going to ask, what kind of food do you all have?
Yeah, we like turkey. That's sort of a thing. Some people like ham better. It depends on your family tradition, right? And maybe you came to Canada from somewhere else in the world, so maybe you do something different. Whatever.
Yeah, because for us in the States, it's got to be turkey and dressing.
Yeah, and we, same thing, turkey, stuffing. For the last several years, we've been brining the birds just because, and we always order a fresh one just because there's a good local meat supplier. So that's fine. My dad, they did Thanksgiving, so my dad paid for it. And we are hosting Christmas, same. And my father-in-law's paying for the turkey. But yeah, mashed potatoes, gravy, whatever, veg, the usual.
Crazy. Nice. I thought about you not too long ago because I just got back from a Virgin cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had a great, amazing time. Virgin would definitely be my cruise line of choice moving forward.
Yeah, because it's adult only. That's part of it. No kids.
I so much love that. Well, in fact, like when we left port, they actually had a bit, they all have a big party, right? But they just brought out trays and rolling carts of champagne for everyone to have them. And it's like, well, you can do that because everyone on the cruise is 21 plus.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
I thought it's just funny how different, but it made me think of you because you've got Kelly's Quilts and Cruises, and I thought, oh, I bet she's got a lot that she could.
Well, we haven't gone anywhere. Our last cruise was early 2023. We went to the Caribbean with our friends, and we have other stuff going on. My husband and I, coming April 2025, it's our 30th anniversary, so we're just going to Hawaii for 10 days with our friends. So that's not cruising, but I'll do video and show you guys, whatever. But we're trying to figure out maybe for something for 2026 because we're not really sure what we want to do next. So we're kind of thinking about it, but Hawaii's the priority. So we got to, first things first.
That'll be fun. I love when you say just 10 days.
Yeah, we went there for a honeymoon. We haven't gone back. We've been to Hawaii other times to different islands, but not to Maui. So we're going to Maui.
Oh, nice. I have not been to Hawaii. Hawaii is definitely on my bucket list, but I have yet to make it there. So I am anxious to go experience all things that they have to offer.
It's going to be very relaxing. So I'm turning over here. If I can, let me show you guys better. Can you guys see me better? Sort of.
Yes.
Is that good?
Sort of.
Sort of. So I'm just sewing along the edge of the binding, like, how you sew binding down like usual?
Mm-hmm.
Just for those two sides.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now, and I'll show you in a second. And I put green thread in here so it matches the color. You don't have to. If you want to put a zigzag along the edge of it or make it a different color, whatever.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah, just make it look different, right? And I do have my walking foot on. just to make it easier with bulk and stuff, right?
You know what's funny is I have yet to ever use my walking foot. So every machine I have has one, but I have yet to pull that out and figure out how that's going to work.
I find I use mine a lot, actually. I didn't
Do you
used to when
really?
I first started, yeah, but I went, oh, hey, that might be handy with the walking foot. That might be handy with the walking foot. So yeah, it's on here pretty often, actually.
I need to try it because I've only been sewing for 2 years in October, so it's all still very new to me. But so there's just so much I haven't done, haven't tried, haven't thought about. But
In this case, when I don't really have to worry about a 1/4 inch seam, it works great. But I do have a 1/4 inch foot that I use regularly most of the time, though.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then I just put this on for like this, just because I now have 3 layers of fabric, plus I folded the binding over, and that's, like it bulk adds up. You don't have to use the walking foot. I just find it easier. Okay, there's one.
I've had a lot of people tell me that because it pulls the fabric right, helps feed the fabric between the top and the bottom. That you would really probably appreciate. Yeah. I hear you. It's just getting it all
Yep.
lined up.
Experiment and see what you think. Maybe you'll hate it. Who knows? Again, mine was more like trial and error when I was fighting with something. I forget even what it was. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just try the walking foot. So I don't know if you guys can see that now that I've gone and used green, but you see I've got a line of stitching and it's right to the edge and not far. Like this is all flapping around still.
Oh yeah.
Just
I mean,
yeah.
You literally are on the edge.
Like very close to the edge. You could go in a little bit. It doesn't really matter as long as it's sewed down securely. Whatever suits you better. So I'll do exactly the same thing on the other side, and then we'll carry on after that.
Shoot. All right, while you sew for a minute, I'm going to do a giveaway.
Sounds good.
Let's see, where are we at? So I have 5 holiday back quarters. And if you would, oh, I got to go over and set Nightbot up again. So give me 1 second, guys. I forgot that life has been crazy this morning. So Nightbot closed. Give me just 1 second. If you will hit exclamation point FAT, F-A-T, we will do that this morning. And it's going to be 5 Christmas holiday back quarters. So one's the plaid. One is holiday with the berries. And this one says, and through the woods, and actually has that red truck in there. I should have opened one set, and I didn't think about that until now, guys. So sorry about that. And then this one is the Christmas light. So it will be a 5 back quarter collection. And just put exclamation point FAT, F-A-T. Russ, you are being so bad today. Russ says wants to know who we're calling fat. He's such a good guy. He's been so helpful to help me get my channel going and help teach me things. And, Kelly, I always tell people we're so fortunate to have the group that we do. We have such a fun YouTube family.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's see.
Let's see how we... Better not do that. Let's do this. So guys, I'm matching up. So I've got my 2 squares done. So I am matching up now so I can do my 4 squares. See how that craziness is going to look. All right, let's take one more minute. Exclamation point, fat, F-A-T, for the fat quarters. Kelly, I had gremlins all this morning. They kept, my channel kept crashing this morning.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
So crazy. I was like, what in the world?
I will check out your replay though, because I want to see what you're doing, and I can't really right now because
you got things going.
Yeah, I can't even move the box over so I can see what you're doing. So whatever. Hey, let me just try this. It won't go down. Right.
So let's roll the dice and see who wins the fat quarter.
That's better. There we go. Okay.
And the fat quarter goes to So Blessed by Jess. So congratulations, my friend. If you will send me an email at john@guyscraft2, John, I will get those mailed out this week.
Oopsie, my copy screwed up.
We will keep trucking on.
Yay, way to go, Jess. Oh, and the reason for the poppy, that's because of that poem in Flanders Fields. It's kind of a famous poem. In Flanders Fields, the poppies grow. It was written by a Canadian Army surgeon in May of 1915. His name was Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae.
Oh, wow.
So if you just do Google search for In Flanders Fields, you will get the whole poppy thing. And the veterans, people, they use it for fundraisers. So all around end of October, you can go like the grocery stores. They have a box where you can put money in, or sometimes they have veterans outside with the kettle where you can put in money, or you can like tap your credit card or whatever and donate. And then everybody puts their poppy on their shirt or their jacket or whatever.
Oh, how cute is that? Kelly, I think you're probably like me. We just can't do enough for our veterans and the guys that serve, and we just would never understand what some of those guys have gone through for us.
My grandfather was in the Navy in World War II, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm working on getting the miters done now. Fold over and press, not quite to the edge. Give yourself a little teeny bit of leeway just so it's easier to fold later. Because if you go right up tight, it's harder to wiggle it into position. So back off just a touch. So then now that I have these done, then fold down again like that, press, and then you fold the whole works over again and figure out your miters, which are actually not that bad already.
No, because the way you sewed the other two sides down, really kind of almost makes it much easier to do the mitering then, because you're
absolutely. I found I watched somebody do this for, I think she was just making mug rugs, but same idea. I went, oh, I have to do that. It works way better.
Right, trying to turn it, fold it, grab it again.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
There's two sides totally secure already before you even start doing anything else. So I do one side at a time, press it down, fold it over, press it again just so you don't have flap. And sometimes what I do, I have a bunch of those little clippy things, so then I fold it over and press it again, and then I'll wiggle my miter into position and clip it so that it doesn't come apart.
But I really like the double fold because it really does give you a nice sturdy binding on a coaster like that.
Yeah. Works great. Works good for mug rugs too. Or even for a table runner, if you don't want to do the whole binding, you know. I mean, if you want your binding in different color, then obviously you have to do binding the normal way. But if you're okay having your binding the same color as the back, it's a good way to do it.
You know, Kelly, I have yet to do a mug rug. It would probably help me do a few mug rugs because it would give me more practice, right, with binding.
Yeah, I actually just did a mug rug last month for one of my daughter's boss, basically. But I did do different colored binding, and it was kind of a pain in the butt because then you're trying to finagle binding on something small. But I wanted it that way, so I sucked it up and did it.
They just don't have any idea what we put ourselves through sometimes, do they?
Nope. Ah, dang it. Come on. There we go.
Katie Quilt says, good explanation, Kelly.
Thank you. Oh, hang on. Okay. So I just went and pressed that other part down and then fold it over. And see, already that miter looks okay.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
I didn't have to really wiggle it into position or anything. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it's not 100%, but I just folded over and that looks pretty good.
But it's nice because the other edge you didn't have to worry about because it's already down. So now you're only picking up with that.
Yeah. So clip it and hold it in place. Now, sometimes there's one that doesn't want to work. No, that one's not bad. That one's not bad either. It's a little bit off, but it's not terrible. So I'm going to go with it. Clip it in place. I'm actually going to do the same thing for the other side and clip them in place and then just let it sit and do the other coaster so I can sew them all together. And then same thing, when you're ready to go, just go around on here and sew it down however you want with matching thread or a fancy stitch or zigzag or whatever you want, just to secure it down. Go into the corner, hold it down. I tend to make sure that I sew like this way so that it goes on what I just folded rather than this way so it comes up to what I just folded. So I will sew, no, scoot that over. So sew this way so that this goes down and then pivot and go this way.
Oh, okay.
Because if you sew up this way, you could catch that, right? You know what I mean? I did that before. I went, oh, damn. So, so that's why I do it this way.
That's why, Kelly, there's certain things that I do on a YouTube live and other things I won't do because everybody thinks I'm a nice, very relaxed guy. And sometimes it's not that way.
Well, see, when I go live to it, I mean, most of the time you get the clean version of me.
Right.
But it just doesn't always happen. I try to be respectful, but sometimes stuff slips out. So I will do exactly the same procedure on the other side. And I will do the same. I have two coasters going. I'll do exactly the same thing. And then I will do both of them together to sew the whole works, binding down, finished. Give them a press, done.
So Kelly, you mentioned about doing decorative stitches going down the binding. Have you done that very often?
No, I haven't. It's not my thing. And
okay.
My machine does have some fancier stitches, but it's not loads of them. So I just match the color and sew it down. But if you have lots of fun stuff or blanket stitch or whatever, have at her.
I have yet to try it. I played with it for my the other day because I'm doing something for my granddaughter, and I thought, well, that might be fun to do something like that. but I haven't done it yet. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I've
it
never done anything with it.
kind of depends on the fabric. Like if you have something more kid friendly and cuter, you could put a different color thread in and do a fun stitch on it. Whatever. Sky's the limit, really. I just don't have loads of fancy stitches on my machine. But some people's machines have like tons of them.
Oh, I know. I mean, some of these machines I see, it's like, Lord have mercy, that would just keep me confused all day. I'd never get anything done. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, Katie's joining from Greenland Quilter. So let me figure out how to let her in.
So, hi, Katie. But I actually have to go now. Just so that Katie can do her thing. And my husband is making breakfast, so
you don't have to leave on my account.
No, I'm not leaving on your account, hun. But I did want to stay so I could say hi to you.
Okay, well, hello.
Have a good time sewing with John. I gotta go.
Okay.
Kelly, thanks so much for joining.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
I think I lost something.
There's Miss Katie. How are you this morning?
Fine. I'm having trouble trying to find the StreamYard screen. I don't know where it went to.
Well, we see you. Don't do anything you don't want us to see.
Oh, well, I wouldn't do that anyway. I don't know where it went to.
So you can't see us?
I can see you if I go to my browser, but I muted the browser to keep the echo from happening from StreamYard, but I can't seem to find the StreamYard.
Huh.
It's like it disappeared or something, unless it's part of the browser. Ah, there it is. I found it. Sorry.
No, we're all good. Well, thanks for being on today. I thought it would be fun. I felt bad. I did Labor Day and did the holiday quilting bee and did 3 hours by myself and then realized, oh, some of these guys may not have wanted to just listen to me ramble on for 3 hours, although they were all so good. They hung in there with me. They've hung in today because StreamYard apparently has been having issues. So we've been down twice this morning, but I think, fingers crossed, we've got the next 58 minutes covered.
Okay, no problem. I saw that it was bouncing in and out, and I thought maybe it might have been StreamYard or something.
Yeah, because I'm very fortunate. We just got brand new fiber optic internet in the neighborhood, and I've never had such fast speeds and such reliability, and so it must have been StreamYard that was causing my problems this morning. So,
this is the first time I've been on your live.
I know, isn't that crazy? It's been, I tell you what, summer just got away from me, and I've been on yours, and we talked and had such a good time.
Actually, the only person that I've ever been, don't take offense to this, okay? But out of all the people I have interviewed and brought onto my channel, one person has had me on theirs.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I've never been on anyone else's other than Sean's.
And Sean's such a sweetheart. Sean, I don't think I had 100 subscribers when Sean had me on, and I need to have Sean on.
Yeah, I've been on his multiple times, and his has been the only one. He was beginning to make me think that people didn't like me or something. Whatever, right?
Right. Well, because we all have such a good YouTube community in that. And I'll be honest, until today, the only person I've had on my channel has been Russ. And we ended up doing that sew along together. I think it was July 4th weekend. And,
speaking of Russ, is he hiding in the chat?
Well, he's supposed to be working.
Oh, busted.
But he has been on the chat today. So.
Okay, because I've been in and out of. I was in the bedroom when I was watching the chat, and I've been in and out of there. But I finally had to come in here and set up so I could be on here. So what we doing?
We're just having fun today, hanging out, talking about Veterans Day. So, do you all have something similar? So, because you're from Florida originally, correct?
Yep.
So do you all do anything to serve to honor the servicemen or anything like that in Greenland? Do you all even, I guess you all have some type of service, right?
Greenland does not. Okay, so to kind of backtrack a little bit,
Mhm.
as most, well, some people might not know this, Greenland technically belongs to Denmark,
Oh,
but in 1979, Greenland got or has partial autonomy since 1979. However, and or we would say, but um, Denmark still controls foreign affairs, money, healthcare, police, and military. So right now, Greenland does not have its own military. So every so often, the Danish Navy comes through here, and it'll come into port and sit for several days, and they go up and down the Greenland coast. Usually around Christmas time, it's either Christmas or New Year's. I always get this backwards. It's one of the two holidays. They'll come in and play soccer with the local soccer team here, or what they call football. And but so there's no, and I don't know that Denmark actually has a Veterans Day. Now, having, so since you're talking about veterans, my dad served in the Navy for 18 years. My kid's paternal grandfather retired from the Army. My daughter has served the Navy for 4 years before she started having kids. And my first husband, which is my kid's father, he also served in the Army as well. So there's veterans in my family. And I think there's a few veterans before my dad went into the Navy, but I don't know who did what. But there's a story about my dad getting into the Navy if you're interested in hearing it.
yeah, absolutely.
So he how can I put this gently? He had a bad home life, which, y'all know about mine from him. But when he was 17, he had enough of his dad coming home drunk. So he went and he talked to his aunt because he needed an adult to sign off on him getting into Navy boot camp. But you know what they did? They lied about his age.
Oh,
So, because he didn't have, I guess back then they only put births on in the books. There wasn't actual birth certificates, I guess, because he was born in 1940 something, I think.
right.
And I don't know what exact year he was born in because he was 56 when he died, and that was in 1998. So I guess if I did a calculator, I could figure it out. But anyway, so he went to his aunt and he says, I want to get in the Navy. Can you help me? And you have to be 18 to get in the Navy. Well, they lied, and I don't know how they did it, but he ended up getting in the Navy at 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he served the Navy for 18 years. And the only reason he didn't serve longer is he had been he worked on a submarine tender. And he wanted to work in the torpedo room of a sub.
Okay.
So, sailors go through an intensive training thing to live in a big metal tube, as we all know.
Yep.
And one of the things that they would do is they have these big round balls on the chain that hoisted off the side of a ship and dropped into the water so that new sailors can experience what it's like when you drop down deeper and deeper into the water.
Right.
And normally most people's ears will pop when you reach a certain depth. With my father, when he was going through that training, instead of his ears popping, all the bones in his ears shattered.
No way.
Yeah. So because that happened, he couldn't become a torpedoes man on a sub. And so he lost some of his hearing from the test. And I guess once you reach a certain percentage of hearing loss, they don't make you get out. They don't force you out. But he made the decision that, he couldn't be where he wanted to be in the Navy. So he went ahead and retired from the Navy early. And then he eventually lost most of his hearing. He had hearing aids when he was in his 40s.
Oh,
But
wow.
he apparently loved being in the Navy because, he even submarine tenders spend several months at sea sometimes. And, he would come home and spend time with mom and then go back out again. And so that's, I always thought it was like 10 years he served. But when I was doing my ancestry stuff, I recently got some updated information on my dad, and it shows where he served 18 years.
Wow.
So, that's pretty darn cool. So he was in there for a while. And, I remember because we were in San Diego before, just as he was going to get out. And I remember I have vague memories of my mom taking us on to one of the, I don't know if it was a submarine tender ship or if it was one of the battle cruisers, but she would take us to the dentist, and the dentist would be doing our teeth when we were that young.
Really?
We had, they treated my asthma right there on the base. All of that was took care of because they lived in housing on the base, but I'm not exactly sure. It wasn't apartments or nothing because I have vague memories of living in a house on a hill. And, California's mountainous or hilly and mountainous anyway. But, I remember that. And then I took my kids to San Diego in 2001 in August.
Mm-hmm.
And I took them to the San Diego, or I was with friends, and we went to the San Diego Zoo. And I'm walking around there, and it's like deja vu. I'm like, it was like I knew I had been there before. So I called my mom because I had that same feeling when I went to Balboa Park and to Coronado.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called my mom, and I said, Mom, did you used to take us to the zoo and to Coronado and Balboa Park? She's like, yeah, all the time, just about every week. She says, why? I said, because I'm over here in San Diego right now with the kids, and I swear I feel like I've been here before. She says, you have many times. She told me a story about Coronado. Used to be to get to the Navy base, you had to get on a ferry and go across the whatever that part where Coronado is
Right.
to get to the base. When I was there with the kids, there's this big, tall bridge that spans over the top of that big body of water to get to the base. And but it was interesting that in 1965 there was not a bridge. It used to be a ferry. So it was interesting that I had all these vague feelings of being there because I walked around the zoo like I knew where I was going. It was funny. It was so interesting. And when she told me I had been there so many times, I'm like, wow, because I actually do not remember ever going. I just felt like I had been there before. And it's a strange feeling when you feel like that.
Oh, I bet.
Okay. So sorry for getting on that little rant.
No, you did good. I want to do a giveaway. So give me 1 second. So, because I have a couple other things to give away. So today, next giveaway is actually thread clip snips and a 6-inch ruler. And I love unicorns, right? So a little unicorn.
Oh, I want one of those.
Right? So if you'll put exclamation point snips, SNIPS, in the chat, and we'll see who Nightbot ends up randomly giving us, right?
So you want to know what's going on outside here?
Yes. What's going on outside?
It's snowing and sleeting outside right now.
No way.
You know what? You know how you've heard me talk about this many times. I guess you have. I don't know. Depends on how many times you watch my lives and I talk about Greenland. The last 4 years, we hardly have any snow, and it stays pretty warm. So 2 weeks ago, we got our third little dusting of snow. There was about 3 inches of snow. And it was flipping cold, let me tell you. 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you know how long it's been since I felt 12 degrees Fahrenheit here in Greenland? A long time. So I'm like, oh my God, it was so cold outside. And so I'm like, and I had bought a lighter weighted parka because I could no longer wear the heavy one because all I would do is sweat in it. It would just drive me crazy.
Yep.
And I ended up having to wear a sweater under my lighter parka because I'm just not going back to that big, thick, heavy thing. And so the snow sat on the ground for, I don't know, almost 2 weeks. And then 3 days ago or 4 days ago, we got that famous little wind, the one that destroyed my sewing room, come rolling through from the south and raised the temperature up to, it was 42 degrees at one point during that week. And all that beautiful white dusting snow turned to a hot, nasty, muddy mess.
Oh my goodness.
So today we're getting snow. Let's see how long it lasts. It'll either do that because last night all it did was rain. It rained all night long. So you can imagine what kind of mess is outside right now.
Oh, I can. Hey,
And-
Trapper, let's take about 30 seconds to hit exclamation point snips, and then I'll click on the roll it button.
Yeah, so far there's only been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's got to be more than 8 people on this channel. Come on, you guys. Hit that exclamation snips. Oh, someone's asking me how I ended up in Greenland. That's a story all by itself. Oh my God.
That's going to be a fun story.
Do you care if I tell it here?
No, you're fine. And you moved there, didn't you, from
Florida.
Florida? That's
North
what I thought.
Florida.
So that was a nice
North Florida. Yeah. So when my dad got out of the Navy, so I'll give you a little quick history lesson here. My dad got out of the Navy in 1965, and we road tripped from San Diego to Florida, and we stopped in Alabama to see my maternal grandmother and grandfather on our way to Florida. So we had been living in Florida since 1965, or is it 67? I might have my dates a little messed up. Maybe it's 1967. Sorry, guys. So from 1967 to 2011, I lived in Florida. All the way up to my 12th year, I lived in South Florida. And then in 1975, Dad moved us to Stark, which is in North Florida. We spent about 9 months there, and then we moved to Lake City. And Lake City's where they dropped their roots. Because, before then, we were moving like, I don't know what was with my father, but he was moving us every 2 years. It was weird. We never stayed anywhere for more than 2 or 3 years, and then uprooted and moved again. So he had started being a heavy equipment construction operator, and he was leaving us down in South Florida to go spend every week up in Jacksonville because he was working. He ran a motor grader is what he ran, and he decided he had had enough of this driving back and forth on the weekends. Going from there, because it's about a 3-hour drive from Jacksonville, 3.5, something like that, from where we were living. Because when we moved from Christmas, Florida. So that's about a 3.5-hour drive, I think. And so he moved us to Lake City, and that's where we've been all that time. I lived in Columbia County. I wasn't actually the last, I think, 3 years, from 2006 to 2011. I moved outside of Lake City into the more rural area. So lived in Columbia County, which is Lake City, covers Lake City and Fort White and a couple other smaller little towns. But I was 18 miles away from Lake City because I like living way out. I can't stand the noise of a city. And Lake City's not big like New York, of course. So anyway, how did I get to Greenland? Well, how many of you are old enough to remember when the internet first started? Let's see how many. Give a heart and tell us how many of you are our age and remember when the internet first started. because some of you have to know what IRC is.
IRC.
Internet Relay Chat. So in 1994, I got my first computer, and I'm sure people had computers before then, but it took me a while, and I was going to college, and I discovered I needed a computer. And so I bought my first computer, and the internet provider who was providing internet back then, which is dial-up, I told him, I said, I don't know anything about a computer or how to navigate the internet. And he says, here's what, and he wrote all this stuff down so I'd know where to go. He says, get on your browser and go to this website, which happened to be for MIRC, which is an internet relay chat app. And he said, download it. And then you go in and you type in number newbies, and it'll take you to a chat channel called Newbies. And in there, these people know everything about the internet. And I'm like, okay. And so I found my way there. And about a year into being on Internet Relay Chat, I started making a lot of friends. And then I started drifting into other channels as well. And I stumbled onto a channel that I clicked with the people in the channel. It was a amazing channel, but it was also a locked down channel. It was ran by my friends Michael and Melanie, who I'm still friends with, and I talk to on a regular basis. And it was locked down to keep trolls out, and only a specific kind of group of people could be in there. And if you didn't have similar interests, you weren't welcome in there. Put it that way. Because he didn't want to deal with people being jerks, Yep. And Michael, I was scared of Michael for a little while. I thought Michael was I don't know. He was just very feisty, and he didn't take no guff from anyone. And that was the way he was. And he would tell you right to your face what he thought of you if you were causing trouble, So anyway, I had been in that channel for about 2, maybe 3 years, maybe long enough that it became like a family. And they knew about my bad marriage, they knew everything, because that's what happens when you become family. Mm-hmm. And in 2001, Nikolai joined the channel, and it was interesting because we hit it off. I mean, like that. And of course, I still had a husband then, and I never flirted with anybody. I didn't do that kind of thing. I was raised to be loyal, I guess, because my mother was loyal to what was going on with theirs. So you are a product of how you're raised, pretty much.
Yep.
So, and so me and Nikolai were talking, and we became really great friends. It was like having a BFF, and we talked about everything. I mean, we talked about Greenland, we talked about his job, we talked about my stuff and horses and dogs and kids and all of it. And then in 2006, when my first husband dispatched himself, I had decided I was done with living with people who treated me badly. And I didn't think that I would ever be with another man again. I had already accepted that might happen. And one day in 2009, 3 years after he passed, Nikolai out of the blue says he's going to come to Florida, but I show him some of my beautiful state. And I said, sure, why not? So he was in Tampa, and I messed around for a couple of days because I was a little scared, I guess. Not of him. Just being around a man again, put it that way. And my Melanie, she says, why aren't you down in Tampa by now? She says, don't make me get on an airplane and drag you kicking and screaming down there. Please go down there and have fun. That's what she wanted me to do. Go have fun. Just don't worry about nothing. Just have fun. I'm like, okay. So I drove down there, and, we had been talking all this time for about 4 years. Let's see, 2001 to 2009. That's 8 years we've been talking to each other. So we had quite a relationship, friendship wise. So when I pulled up in front of the hotel, he made me laugh. He comes walking out of the hotel door and he's barefooted. And y'all got to understand this. If you're a Florida person, a lot of Floridians run around barefooted all the time. I know I did. I hated shoes. I still hate shoes. And so it was funny to see him come walking out the door like that. And when we hugged, something happened. It was like he made me feel safe. And it was like being wrapped up in a warm blanket, and you just didn't want to break it apart, and when we broke apart, we're looking at each other like, what was that? So all weekend we were like two little teenagers, giggling and telling jokes and getting to know each other even further, and we did lots of things together. And then when he left,
you ended up in Greenland.
We dated for, let's see, that was in August. He asked me to be his girl in September. Basically, he said he wanted to date me, and then in December, at the end of December, he told me he was coming back over to Florida if I would have him, and he stayed for 2 months, and right in the middle of the 2 months, he asked me to marry him. And then, so that was 2010. And then in December of 2010, I flew over here to see how my asthma would react to winter weather. Come to find out it was better over here than in North Florida. And right after Christmas, he told me, he says, before you go back to Florida, we're getting married. We're not waiting. So we got married on January the 2nd. And then I went back to Florida and then moved here in August of 2011. So that's how I came about being here.
That is crazy. How exciting though, right? You just never know where life's going to take you.
Yeah, love doesn't pick and choose. And anyone who says there's no such thing as a second chance, there is. I had a friend that used to tell me that it's all about timing. And I have to agree with him. When it's the right time, it'll happen to anyone.
Yep.
You just have to not lose your faith in human beings. I mean, I was on the verge of being that way, and this man showed me that there's people out there who are good and nice and kind. And we've been married almost 14 years. Our 14th anniversary comes up on January the 2nd, and we have never had an argument in those 14 years.
Well, congratulations. How
Thank you.
exciting.
Hey
Hey guys, Balloonist won Snips. So
congratulations
to Balloonist. And if you will send me an email at john@guyscraft2.com, I will get that mailed out this week, hopefully. And just put Snips, if you would, in the subject line.
So I'm curious, how many of you used to be on IRC? Any of you?
I never was.
See, because there was Mark and then there was Perch, and Perch was for people who used Apple computers.
Oh, see, I never started with Apple. Back in the day, it was all DOS and
yeah, that was the way I still don't use Apple stuff.
Oh, I use all Apple now.
Yeah, I no. Too hard.
Except at work. Work makes me use Microsoft, but
I think I'll always be a Windows user. There are times when I don't like Windows, but for the most part, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, at home, I'm all Apple with the exception of my long arm because QCT software won't run on Mac. But if it
so how do you run it?
I have a Surface Pro.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's Microsoft's answer to the iPad.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, but that's the only reason, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have anything Microsoft. Just crazy.
So,
Katie, what project are you working on now? You're always have something in the
You're about to open a can of worms, man. I have multiple projects going on right now.
I'm sure.
I don't know. I know some watched my live with Eric the other night, and let me tell, or Saturday night, let me tell you something. I am so inspired by that live because we played with strings and showed us how to make a churn dash using strings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and uh he also showed examples of several blocks that he turned used strings to make. Like there was a star block, churn dash block. There was a different kind of a star block where he used part strings and part solids to create this. So basically, like the star, like I don't know which star it is because I don't know the names of all the stars, but you can see the star itself because he used solids for that part of it, but everything that was inside the star and on the outside was string.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think
And
I
when
might.
was that, Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday night. Yeah.
I'll have to go look at that live then and see.
So let me
Is it
show you
on
an
your channel or
example.
his channel?
My channel, and we'll be sewing again next Saturday, doing more string blocks. But this has not been sewn together yet. But let me show an example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, do that.
This is the churn dash. And this is a 12 and a half. It'll be a 12 and a half inch unfinished block when it's totally sewn together. I just haven't sewn it together yet, but I got it where you can look at it.
All right.
See?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And that's all from scraps except for the solid.
Wow.
And
It is
that's,
amazing how many scraps we end up with, isn't it?
yeah, I have a boatload of scraps. And if you can take strings and do this and have the outline of a block in the process of it, how cool is that? And
Yeah.
here I'll show you another example. I'm also participant. Yeah, you mentioned what am I doing? I'm also participant. I'm one of the members of Donna's Handmade by Ying group,
Yeah.
and so every week we're being given we're doing blocks from these boxes. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah,
waiting
I
on
have
my
those.
Yeah, I'm waiting on my third one to get here. So every week we get assigned a block, and we're going to be doing, I think, 48 of them. Is what I heard.
Oh, wow.
And I can actually show you examples of the ones I've done if it's okay with you for me to show you the other ones.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the
It's funny,
one
I
that
have those boxes, but I have yet to really open them and play with them. But I know they're really, there's so many cool things you can,
yeah.
put together.
So this past week, the one that was due was called Left and Right or Right and Left. And look what I did to the middle of it, because there's supposed to be empty space here in the middle, but look what I put in the middle of it.
Oh my goodness. How cool is that?
So I was just testing to see what this looks like, and now I know because this week we just got assigned yesterday the one called Domino, and there is two big squares inside that domino pattern.
Yeah.
That you could probably do something very interesting with those two empty spaces if you like doing that. But I can show you the other blocks that I've made too. Hang on a second.
Sure. You've been busy, girl.
Yeah, I have a lot of things going on at once. So while I'm showing you guys, I'll tell you what else I'm working on. I'm working on two different my two Tree of Life, because I got behind because some stuff didn't get here when it should have. So I'm working on two different Tree of Life. One's Hope, and I'm still waiting on the rest of it. And I'm also working on Secret Garden. So this is one of the blocks from Donna's channel for those that come out of that box of blocks. This is another one.
Oh, that's cute.
This is another one. Here's another one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we just got assigned uh number 6. So I've got 5. So I've been keeping up. So we get assigned the block on a Sunday, and you have till Saturday the following week or the following weekend by noon to get these blocks turned in on the website, because she's going to be doing a drawing, some kind of drawing at the end of this project. I'm also working on, y'all know that I'm an ambassador of the Cotton Cuts Modern Maker Box. So every month I get a box of fabric, or I get 3 1-yard cuts in a box of the Modern Maker Box. And what I've been doing is I've been doing a tutorial using that month's Cotton Cuts color challenge blocks. And so so here's an example of what a block looks like from one of the Modern Maker boxes.
Oh, that's really cute. Is it birds?
Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah. Really cute.
I have four, I think. But my plan is I only cut enough out of the 3-yard pieces to make the block. So that leaves the rest of the fabric, because they came with 3 1-yard pieces. So at the end, when I get this next box that I'm still waiting on, which would be October's box, I will have been doing this for 6 months. And on New Year's Eve, when I do my 12-hour live, I'm going to give all 6 of those boxes away. They're not going to be quite 3 yards, because I made a block out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give the fabric to someone else to play with.
Oh, how nice. That's sweet.
Yeah, it'll be a nice way of paying it forward.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so
right
Sally
now
joined us tonight. So Sally's on this afternoon. I don't remember seeing her earlier. So welcome in, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Happy
So
the
other thing that I'm going to be, you'd think with so many projects going on that I would not take on another project, but I am. Because I'm going to make it for my granddaughter. And some of you already know about this, so I'll show it to you, John, because I bet you didn't see it.
I haven't yet. Alexandria says she's back from walking in 35-degree weather. She didn't think that walk would ever end. Dragon Fruit. How cute.
Yeah, this is a monthly sew along with Fat Quarter Shop. And when I finish this, it's going to go to my oldest granddaughter for her 14th birthday, which will be next year in December. And I want you to look at that colorful fabric, man.
Oh, that's tulip pink. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this quilt is tulip pink. I'm not a tulip pink person, but my granddaughter loves bold, bright stuff like this. She also likes Cafe Facet, believe it or not. And so I knew that if she liked Cafe, she'll love this. And yeah, so it's a 10-month sew along. So that's why she won't get it until December of next year, because when I finish it, I think we'll be finished with it in June, I guess. June or July. Then I can send it off to a long armor and then have it sent back to me so I can bind it. And then I'm going to wrap it up and send it to her for her 14th birthday. And I told her mother, don't you tell her what I'm doing.
No, absolutely. Hey, let's see who else is in the chat. It wasn't Alexandria was talking about walking out in the cold. Alexandria said great blocks.
Thank you.
Brian
so where's everybody in your channel viewing from? I would love to know.
Yeah, so guys, drop where I know some are in North Carolina. I know I have some in Florida. Tucson today. Candace is here. She just said hi, Katie.
Hey, Candace.
Tell us a little bit about your channel. If any of watching today have not seen you before, tell them a little bit about your channel.
Okay, so in June of 2023, I started my channel, and originally, how do I put this? I've been talking back and forth with Becca, and I had all this footage of Greenland, and I'm still slowly putting my footage up of Greenland. And you know, and I also quilted, and I was always posting all my pictures over on my Facebook and on Instagram. And one day Becca says, "Why don't you put all this stuff on a YouTube channel?" And I told her, I said, "Well, I've given that thought, but I didn't think that I would do. I don't know. I just didn't have, what do you call it, confidence. That's it. I didn't
Yep.
think that anyone would come and watch my videos. I mean, I didn't think I had anything to share other than, my story about how I came about living in Greenland." And she says, "Well, how will you know that if you don't give it a try?" So I posted my first actual video of Greenland itself, flying in a helicopter, I think it was, and in June of 2023. But I didn't technically put up my first quilting video until July 2nd of 2023. So basically, I've had my channel a little over a year and 5 months, I guess. And my channel is 70% quilting stuff, and the rest of it is Greenland. And I've been slowly getting a lot of my really better footage of Greenland up. I did some summer excursions this summer, which were phenomenal. I got to go in a helicopter and land on top of the ice cap, which, you guys, there's nothing like it. It's the most interesting thing to experience. But yeah, so my channel's about quilting and about my life here in Greenland. My husband comes on my lives and he builds Legos while I'm sewing. He is a Lego enthusiast. So we've incorporated a little bit of that so that those people who are interested in that want to come sit and watch it live, they can watch him build as well. So it's a hodgepodge of my life as a immigrant in Greenland. And now that I've been here long enough, people are calling me a Greenlander. So now I'm an American Greenlander.
There you go, girl. It's what
Yeah.
worked, right?
Yeah, it does. And so that's what my channel is about, is my life living here. And the reason I become a quilter is because I live here. I'm from Florida, and if I was still in Florida, y'all would not even know who I am, because I'm a master gardener of 52 years, and that's my superpower. So I would be outside digging in the dirt, not making quilts. So this country has influenced me to be creative, like for my mandala on the back of the wall. That's crochet. There's 32 colors in that. And it's because of most people think that Greenland is this white, desolate island. No, it's not. We have northern lights. We have the most phenomenal sunsets I have ever seen in my life. In the spring, when we start getting multiple hours of daylight and it increases until summer solstice, things grow exponentially fast. So here's an example. You pass as soon as the snow melts, the first thing you see popping out of the ground is dandelions, the plant. You pass that dandelion on a Monday afternoon, you come by to go to the store on a Tuesday morning, it's full of flowers.
Oh my goodness.
How fast. So there's yellows and pinks and oranges. There's so much color, and it has influenced me to get creative with that's why you see me using color the way I do, is because it's in here and I need to let it out. And I think Greenland has helped influence me to use another type of art to get it out. And that's why I'm a quilter.
Look at that. All right, let's catch up with chat just a little bit. Balloonist said she sent me an email. I did not get it, Balloonist. If you will send that again, just to make sure, because I do want to make sure to get you your gift. It's John, JOHN, at guyscraft2.com. Brian says, so sweet. Alexandria says, love Tula Pink, but it sold out before I could get the money for it. And I will tell you, Tula Pink is not a it's not a cheap option, but Andy Sews is the one that got me hooked on Tula Pink, and it doesn't help that Russ does some Tula Pink stuff. And when we talked about, Katie, about folks being from different places, we have South Dakota, Georgia, Maryland, New Jersey, Danielle says she got her Bargello strips cut during lunch today. Look at her go. Sally's over in Southern California near Palm Springs, and I so badly want to go to Palm Springs. I've not been yet. Of course, we know Danielle's up in Michigan. Barb
Is it
said
cold up in Michigan right now? Sorry, I
No.
just was curious.
No,
I wanted to
Danielle
know if
will tell
it's
us.
snowing there or not.
I bet she's had snow already. Balloonist is from Tucson, Arizona. Jackie says she's across the valley from me. So she's here in Phoenix. Fairfax, Virginia. Saginaw.
Saginaw or Mac? Where was that at?
Sally is one. So she used to vote. Oh, must be Saginaw. Must be where Danielle is.
Okay. Interesting names. Is Mackinac and Saginaw Indian name or, sorry, Native American name, or is it something else?
I was going to say, it does sound Native American.
It sounds like Native American to me, because when you look at Mackinac, it's not even the way it's spelled. If you try to say it the way it's spelled, you'll butcher it badly.
Alexandria does say she has the new Tula Pink line on pre-order, which I will say I did too. I ended up buying it from my favorite quilt store, and I think I ordered a jelly roll. I think I ordered a few charm packs, and I think I ordered layer cake. I don't think I actually ordered yardage. I don't remember. It's just so crazy now. Barb's up in Western Canada.
Barb, what part of Western Canada are you in?
Stephanie's on from Stephanie Stitches. She wants to know how the sewing's been going. So I've got all my 4 blocks done this morning.
Oh,
so
pretty.
I think those are really turning out good. I want to make sure I square these up before I go back and start trimming out all the borders with them. But I think this is actually my first patriotic quilt. So I'm kind of excited to get it done. And I mean, you put that white borders around here and square these out. All this red, white, blue. I mean, it's definitely gonna scream patriotic America, you know. And
have you always wanted to make patriotic stuff and fly a flag and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, my family's been very military my whole life. So my son's active in the Air Force. I was not in the service. It skipped my generation. My dad was in the Navy. His brother was in the Army. We've either worked around or supported folks in the services. So it's just been kind of crazy. Barb's in Calgary, Alberta.
My daughter got in the Navy because she wanted to try to get her life back on track after losing her dad. And I think it was the best thing that she ever did, because, she was in my kids were in a bit of a funk for a long time after they lost their dad. And the girls picked themselves up by their bootstraps and got on with it.
Just
Thomas,
funny how it can be, isn't it?
Yeah, when people say that women are not strong, oh yes, they are. They are strong, because the girls, they got their stuff together and got on with life, and Thomas hasn't. Thomas is doing better though. So, but I think that it's different for boys when they lose their dad. Because boys he was 17 when he lost his dad, and I think that men give that father thing to sons that women just can't give to young men. And I think that's why he struggled so hard compared to the girls, because he didn't have his dad say, "Get off your butt and be a man," Yeah,
So,
that kind of thing.
Math Geek is here today. Math Geek is from Kirkland, Washington, just east of
Shelby.
Seattle. Stephanie says the blocks look great. Thanks, Stephanie. She's such a sweetheart.
Look, we have someone from Sweden in here. Yay. On my side of the pond.
I used to go to Gothenburg, Sweden for work. It's been many, many years.
Sweden ranks in the top 5 of the best places to live and be happy.
Oh, I believe that.
Yep. They are.
Alexandria said her father served for 38 years in the Navy.
Wow, that's a long time. What part of the Navy did he work in? Was he on a an aircraft carrier, a battle cruiser, or in a sub? What did he do?
Oh, Barb says her nationality is Swedish.
Yeah, I have Swedish in my DNA too. Sweden, Denmark, Wales, Germany.
So, see, Katie, I had to learn to stay away from you because after I did the live with you, look what I had to go get.
A stitching kit. Hey, we should. Are you planning on doing anything with it yet?
Oh, no, it's been sitting over here on my heat press for my shirts ever since it came in 3 months ago. And I keep
Why
thinking,
don't you and me get together and sew a stitching kit? Because I have a full kit that I haven't made either.
do you?
You want to do that?
I do. It would have to be after the first of the year, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
girlfriend.
next year's fine. I mean, I don't mean not like right now, but if you're interested, we could make make a couple hour or 2-3 hour, and let's see what you create. Let's see what I create with the stitch it kit.
I'm
You
sure
know, and that might get you motivated to sew it.
I tell you, it's just, the problem is it's not the motivation, it's the work. Work is just killing me right now, and it's just so funny. But hey, let's do one last giveaway because we're going to be at the top of the hour quick. And so I have a June Taylor Quilt As You Go Jolly Gingerbread Pot Holders. Look how cute those are.
Adorable.
So, and it comes actually with the pre-cut appliques and everything.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Right. So if you would, in the chat, put exclamation point pot. P-O-T. And let's see who can win these. So these are great with fat quarters and now with Go Die cutting instructions. So they even have the instructions now on how to cut these out on your Go Die. But anyway, so we'll see how
Alexandria says he worked on a sub doing electrical, and when they went nuclear, he went back to school and became an RN, and that's where he stayed until he got out. Wow, talk about going to 2 different kinds of lifestyles. That's interesting. That is so cool. That's the beauty of being in the military, though. You can switch around. My daughter, when she was in the Navy, she was on the USS George Washington aircraft carrier, and she was in the engineering department, believe it or not. And she was stationed in Japan when that earthquake hit. And that was scary because I was, because sometimes the Navy, when stuff like that happens, they kind of go dark and don't tell you nothing. Yeah. So you're waiting, well, is my daughter okay or is she not okay? But the reason they went dark was they took the entire fleet out to sea to avoid the tsunami.
All right, guys, let's take about 30 seconds, exclamation point pot, and I will see what Nightbot does for us today. That's a nice thing. It is nice having Nightbot, and that everything's just so random, and I click a button, and it just does it for me.
Shelby says she has those pot holders.
Look at that. I have those pot holders. They are really cute, and they're actually pretty easy to make. How awesome is that? So, Alexandria says he was one of the first graduating classes of nurses at the University of South Carolina. I know all about the University of South Carolina. I lived down there for 5 years in the Aiken, North Augusta area. Loved South Carolina.
I bet you didn't know that I was born on the Navy base in Charleston, South Carolina.
No way.
Me and my middle sister, we both were born on the base there.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll it and see who's going to win the pot holders.
I've just never seen it in person. So on my next trip to the U.S., Charleston's on my bucket list to stop by.
So Stitcher has won the giveaway. So Stitcher, if you will send me an email at John, John, at guyscraft2.com, I will get those out this week, I hope. Is the plan. Let me tell you guys, you know how crazy life can be for us right now. And the holidays are here. How did the holidays get here so quick on us?
How did the year go by so fast is what I want to know.
It's just amazing to me. I had no idea that how
It's like,
quick.
it's crazy how quick it is. And my granddaughter, the oldest one that you heard me mention earlier, she turns 13 next month. And I'm like, how did that even happen? Last time she was just a tiny baby. It seemed like just yesterday, you know?
It's crazy.
It's also beginning to show our age, I think.
So I just put in exclamation point Katie for you all. Katie's channel is linked right there. So she's at the Greenland Quilter, youtube.com. So if you're not on hers, feel free to join and do that. And
Thank you for sharing.
no, not a problem. And I meant to do it with Kelly too and forgot. So there should be Kelly's as well.
So, John,
yeah.
John, if you're interested, I'll send you an email of when the date is going to be.
Mhm.
But anyone who's interested, me and Nikolai are going to do a special live, and the live is going to be about, because several people have approached me and asked me why I haven't done this. So the video is going to be about me moving to Greenland. I've already told my story, but I've never discussed what it was like being an American, moving to another country, talk about living in Greenland, the obstacles and things that I come across and how I've adapted. And also we're going to talk about the history of Greenland for those history buffs who are interested in that kind of thing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about when the United States had Greenland in its protection during World War II. I did not learn about this in the history class when I was in high school, so I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that did not know that. So we're going to talk about that, because this town is the biggest hub part of what went on. And also we're going to talk, Nikolai's going to tell you guys a story about the Kividoc. And it's kind of like a ghost story kind of thing. He's going to talk about that and folklore. We're just going to talk about all kinds of things about Greenland. And it'll probably be about 2 or 3 hour live. And I'll be sharing some books that you can actually buy in English that share some of those stories as well.
No, that's great. That's very exciting. So guys, I did put in a few of the links. So I put in Katie's link in the chat. So if you've not been to her channel, there's the link. Russ, as you all know, is just been so good to me. Russ's, I put his link in. Stephanie is just amazing. And she's going to be with me for the Holiday Quilting Bee some on Thanksgiving. All that announcement, all that update is coming out tomorrow. So look for that tomorrow morning. And then I actually get to see and meet in person Stephanie at Stitch in Heaven, because we're both going to the retreat down there for New Year's Eve. So I will actually get to see her on New Year's Day after she finishes her New Year's Eve retreat. She's jetting over to the Dallas area to be with us. So I am very, very excited to get to meet her in person. Can you tell us
what the Quilting Bee is?
So the Holiday Quilting Bee, I wanted to have something special and different. So because so many of us are not always with family and we're by ourselves on these holidays, I wanted to start something that would allow us to do some type of sew along, but be able to have chats in that. This is my second. So this time it was nice to be able to have Kelly on for a little bit. It was awesome having you join, Katie. But I just wanted to, Russ comes up with such creative names, and it's like, okay, well, I wanted something to be a little bit identified for John. So I came up with Holiday Quilting Bee. And so just reminds me of the old quilting circles back in the day. So that's where we ended up with. But Joydy's here. Thanks, Joydy, for being here. Brian, thanks for being on today. So guys, we are at the top of the hour. It's been 3 hours, and I will tell you, it's been a fun day. It's great having Katie Okay, how
Thank
awesome that
you.
you were able to join today and be part of this. My next one will be on Thanksgiving Day. So it will be 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. We'll have some guests on for that day. We'll have a special project that we can work on together if you want, or you can bring your own project. So, but Katie, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, it's awesome. So we will definitely have to do more of this together. We'll talk about the cotton cuts box at some point and see if we can't link up and make some things happen there.
I'm really interested in your Christmas thing because Nikolai's going to be with his mistress for the holidays this year.
He is.
So, I wouldn't mind doing that.
No, we'll figure something out. I will definitely be reaching out. So,
Okay.
guys, I appreciate you all hanging in for 3 hours. I know we had a little technology issue, I think, with StreamYard earlier, but this has been fun, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So, Katie, thank you. And as always, happy crafting.